And one of the things I've been most excited about lately is we've been developing this new program of really individual action plans for each student. So everybody's got their own habits of use, of vocal use, of how they breathe, that they've developed over their life to survive life. And most of those habits, a lot of them are around how they deal with emotion, how they contain emotion, how they deal with various circumstances and can lead to some breath holding, or different things that are great for the human in surviving the world and not necessarily great for the actor in terms of their ability to communicate to an audience, to their scene partners, and to the world at large. So we're always up against, to some degree in the training, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years of habitualized behavior, and then what we're trying to do as we meet a few times a week over a couple of years. So it's a big task in that sense, and we've realized that you can get someone working in the room pretty well and make some great adjustments, but then how are they able to actually integrate that into acting, which is the goal, right? In performance and auditions, if things, stakes get really high, or if there's a lot of pressure perceived or real, are they able to hang on to these tools, or do they go by the wayside? So we've created these individual action plans where people have kind of a 10-minute or so a day routine that's specifically all about their usage, how they're doing things, and a series of exercises every day, as much as they can do that in a week, to start to swing the pendulum a little bit of habit in the direction that'll be useful for the actor. So I teach the second year. Scott Miller and I basically share a class where we each teach a class once a week over a year-long process. So it's great in terms of developing these action plans, just to work throughout. They're able to get two sets of eyes, two people working with them with the same technique, but with their own kind of ways into that technique, which I think can help open up for different kinds of learners are going to get information in different ways from Scott and I. So it's nice, I think, a benefit in that sense. One of the core things we look at is, when I talk about habitual use and behavior, is around, we have what's called an active breath. It's one of the main things we teach. And the idea is that acting is more akin to athletics than it is to sitting on the couch, reading a book, or watching television. The body's natural breath cycle has a couple pauses, basically, at the beginning of the exhale and the end of the exhale. And this is places where we find a lot of times actors will actually hold the breath explicitly, closing off the glottis, and then while they're listening a lot of times to other actors, waiting for a line sometimes, that place closes down and they end up exploding into sound without a lot of airflow. And airflow is just the fantastic thing that allows for tons of tonal depth, right? Undertones, overtones, the things that really carry meaning in our language. So without a lot of airflow, it's hard to have those things. We find this active breath as a way to keep the airflow moving, to have tons of actual support with airflow. And so developing the tools to actually turn this active breath into an unconscious thing is, can be a 3-year process.